Good morning, Dominic.
Good morning, AJ.
We're at Pearl Harbor. I'm not sure how much I can film, so.
It's cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, the National Park Service and the United States Navy welcome you to Pearl Harbor. Please remain seated for the duration of the boat ride and watch your step as you embark and disembark the vessel. Standing is not permitted at any time while the vessel is underway. We ask that you silence your cell phones and refrain from texting during your time on board. Once we approach the USS Arizona Memorial, the U.S. Navy will maneuver the boat so that everyone has an opportunity to take photos. But again, no standing is permitted for the duration of the ride. If you have any questions during your visit today, please speak with a National Park Service representative after you return to the Visitor Center. Once again, welcome to World War II Valor in the Pacific National Monument, which is the proud home of the USS Arizona Memorial, the USS Oklahoma Memorial, and the USS Utah Memorial. Today, the U.S. Navy and the National Park Service will take you on a harbor tour of Pearl Harbor and bring you close to the USS Arizona Memorial and the valiant ship that lies beneath. We are now in the south channel of Pearl Harbor, where the infamous Battleship Row was once located along the southern coast of Ford Island and off the bow of the boat as we cross the harbor. It is here that the great warships of America's Pacific Fleet were moored on the morning of December 7, 1941. From right to left, there was the USS Nevada, Arizona, the repair ship Vestal, the Tennessee, West Virginia, Maryland, Oklahoma, and a bit farther down, the California. An 8th battleship, Pennsylvania, was nearby in dry dock, undergoing repairs. The battleship Utah still rests on the bottom of the harbor and a short distance from shore on the opposite side of Ford Island. The mighty battleships were the backbone of the Pacific Fleet, and each boasted a crew of nearly 1,500 men. In all, almost 200 American vessels were located in Pearl Harbor that day. Off the starboard bow, or right front, of the boat, you can still see the white concrete mooring keys that continue to display some of these names. The battleships that came to Pearl Harbor back then did not drop anchor to secure their position. Instead, they were tied to these white concrete blocks, which were built in the 1930s. The Pacific Fleet tended to tie two ships together, one inboard, closest to the keys, and one outboard. The mooring key closest to the bridge was reserved for the USS Nevada. The Nevada was the only battleship to get underway during the attack on Oahu. She pulled out just before 9 o'clock, after the first wave of planes had left, and valiantly headed towards the sea. At the same time, Japanese planes from the second wave were flying over Diamond Head on the southeast side of the island. 23 sets of brothers, and even a father and his son. The mighty Arizona was just over 600 feet long in her day, about the length of 2 American football fields. Although she would never be returned to service, 2 of Arizona's gun turrets were salvaged for later use as coastal defenses. On December 6, 1941, just one day before the attack, the USS Arizona had taken on almost 1.4 million gallons of fuel oil in preparation for an upcoming trip to the mainland. Much of that oil caught fire and burned following the attack. However, the fuel that remains slowly leaks from the wreckage at a rate of about 1 to 2 gallons per day. The National Park Service and the U.S. Navy carefully monitor the site, but at this time, the oil leakage poses no environmental hazard. The Arizona Survivors Association has referred to these surfacing drops of oil as the black tears of the Arizona. Although there is no way of knowing how long the oil will seep out, many believe that the ship will continue to cry these black tears until the last survivor of the USS Arizona passes on. The USS Arizona Memorial is 184 feet long and is suspended directly over, but not touching, the wreckage of the USS Arizona. It was completed in 1962 and dedicated on Memorial Day that year. The designer and architect was Alfred Price, who created three main parts: the entry room, assembly room, and shrine room. You'll notice that the memorial has two peaks on each end and sags in the center. Mr. Price stated that his design represented American pride before the attack, the sudden depression that followed it, and America's eventual rise to victory at the end of the war. At the very back of the memorial, nearest to Ford Island, is the shrine room. Covering its back wall are the names of 1,177 American servicemen who died on board. That is the largest loss of life of any ship in American naval history. Two separate sections display the names of USS Arizona survivors who later chose to be returned to the ship following their passing. Any surviving crew member of the USS Arizona who was assigned to the ship on December 7th can elect to have their ashes placed within the wreck. To date, over 40 men.
Okay, we're now going to the Luau. So we got some lunch. What did you get, Dominic?
Chicken, rice, burger, bread.
Burger? Where are you seeing a burger?
Cookie, I mean.
about to leave.
It's a blueberry.
We're about to leave,
We're about
Toby.
to leave.
We're going to the airport.
I don't want to go to the airport.
You don't want to go to the airport?
AJ, make the bus turn around.
All right, let's do it again.
One more time.
That's just for Goodbye Waikiki Resort Hotel. You were a hotel that I stayed at. That is my review. Hi Marcus. You ready to leave?
Hold on, let me see. Where's the football player?
We just got finished checking in. We're back, unfortunately, in my backpack. So now I'm just filming on my phone. It was a fun trip, right, Toby? It was a fun trip.
Don't want to be back here.
I don't either. You want to say goodbye to my vlog, Shelly? Thank you guys for watching my trip. I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.
Suck it all the way up. Suck the raspberry. You didn't even get the raspberry.
I did. I swallowed them whole. No.